I knew as soon as the Epstein files stuff start coming out, it was definitely going to turn into a emotional Salem witch hunt, sensationalist Salem witch hunt. What celebrities are in it, what celebrities are not, what was said, where they were. And let me be clear, like this recording the focus isn't really the files. It's actually a series of events, because I think this is just a learning time. Because I always wonder with certain situations when it comes to interpersonal communication and us, it's like, what are we supposed to learn? Like, what does this mean? I believe that we are being faced with the responsibility or the seriousness of proximity. We've heard the term guilty by association. I think part of it is guilty by association, guilty by proximity, as well as guilty by continuity or consistency. That's the part that I think is actually standing out in this case, because I always refer back to, I think about the R. Kelly situation and the case and all of that. I'm like, my issue wasn't just R. Kelly. It was the fact that for over a decade, people knew how he moved, including people that he did work with, music work, artists, parties. They knew how and they would say, even Chicagoans, they're like, well, we know how Kells get down, rolling by the high school and rolling by the malls and having his little entourage. That's who I had the problem with, the entourages and the people that worked with him. And I think we have this fake security blanket when it comes to proximity. It's like, I ain't the one doing it, that's on him. Sadly, even with family members, a lot of times it's like, well, you know how Uncle so-and-so is, you know how Aunt so-and-so is, and we just not gonna go over there. But the reality is, if you have the knowledge, and here's the scary part, these are parties, these are get-togethers, these are things that you go in knowing. I even remember the Diddy situations where people are like, well, I don't stay, I leave at 9 o'clock. I'm like, but you still know what happens after 9 o'clock. So the reality is, when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to convenience, we create this blanket of proximity to protect us from association or guilt. I don't know if that works. And based on this current situation with the Epstein files, I would argue it doesn't. I think of the scripture, evil communication corrupts good manner. And that's true. You have some people that's like, I just want to party, I just want to have fun, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times what you're near or associated with can affect you. Being very honest with myself, there's something I struggle with when it comes to, I think the interlink between all of this is information. And now, mind you, you might say, Steven, you reaching, but hear me out. So for years, like I've done shows since 2017, Brothers on Site with my brothers. And I remember one of the episodes I did had to do with consumerism and buying, and I had done some research about tantalite or cobalt being extracted from the Congo. And those things being used in batteries, smartphones, laptops, smart appliances, and really delving into the fact that there are children that are working 12 plus hours a day in the Congo.
The thousands of unregulated, unmonitored mines in the DRC that's mined by hand with rudimentary tools in harsh, potentially hazardous conditions. And wretched whether or not, the rush is on for a mineral the DRC has in great abundance, cobalt, and it's fast becoming more precious than gold. It's a critical ingredient in lithium-ion batteries. An army of children are at the heart of the mining production. Wearing no shoes and in the most wretched conditions, Dorsan is ordered to retrieve the sack he's forgotten. There's an urgency now. The rains make this dangerous work even more risky, and Dorsan's told in no uncertain terms he risks a beating if he messes up again. Dorsan, with Richard beside him, have worked all day. They're 8 and 11 years old. Even this punishing work doesn't guarantee enough for food. Dorsan hasn't eaten for 2 days now. This is what helpless looks like, and he's one of the children making millions for multinational corporations in America and China whilst they suffer in squalor. For this, they'll get maybe 8 British pence a day, extracted and sorted by tiny hands. They don't wear gloves or masks, yet the World Health Organization says exposure to cobalt and breathing in its dust fumes can cause long-term health problems. Child workers. Monica's the youngest worker in this group at just 4. But even those barely able to walk have lost their childhoods.
People developing weird diseases and tumors for extracting cobalt for the very conveniences that we enjoy. And I'm like, because I know this information, mind you, I'm using a phone right now. How guilty am I for contributing to the children being abused and exploited in the Congo? I remember same thing with Nike shoes. I love Nikes. My flat feet say otherwise. But we've known for years about sweatshops and where the materials come from and the people not getting paid and abusive work conditions or dangerous or hazardous work conditions. Yet we still enjoy the product. And then there's the question of, well, how associated am I? It's like, well, I'm not those companies that's doing it. But I'm enjoying the product in which these things are being produced. So am I guilty? And to be honest, I don't know how to answer that question. Because it's like, even if I record this and say some real fundamental moralistic stuff, I'm posting it on page. I got phones. I got smart devices. What's the alternative? Do I use nothing because of the things that I know? When you're in Hollywood, there are certain appearances, there's certain parties, there's certain get-togethers, there's certain people you work with, there's certain types of mobility. In the political world, it's the same thing. It's rubbing elbows and this. And to what level are you responsible for the proximity to things that aren't savory or that aren't safe? I don't really know the answer to that, but that is something that these situations may be trying to teach us, because you've seen the pictures. There's so many celebrities. Dustin Hoffman, Jay-Z. Oh my God, people just eating that one up. Already got him and Beyonce divorced and ain't nobody said a word. It's so many things that are being extracted and drawn simply because these people knew Epstein, or these people may have heard of Weinstein. Or I look at Bill Cosby, for example. Bill Cosby portrayed himself as a moral, upstanding character who had all these unsavory things. So that was a matter of being tricked or misled. And this might get touchy, but now people are like, let's say, for example, attacking Nicki Minaj on her apparent change up of views. And there's two things that stand out. It's like, number one, I've never looked at Nicki as a status of morality or a compass of morality. So I'm like, I don't think she owes us anything. But secondly, then there's the question of, we don't know her anyway. We don't know if she changed up because we don't know her. And that's the other part. The truth is, we don't know these people. I think we have this weird sensationalism with transference of personalities. There are people who think they know Tiana Taylor. There are people that think they know Beyonce. There are people that think they know Jay-Z. There are people that think they know Kanye. And we come up with all these synopses and analogies. Oh, he would never. Oh, she would never. But do you know? You don't know them. Have you sat with them? Are they your friends? Do you have their phone number? Like, we don't have that connection to make these assumptions. So it's so interesting that we formulate and put people into these boxes of morality and what they should or shouldn't do and judge them. And in reality, we never knew them to begin with. It's like they put out content, they put out artistry, and we created a persona in our head of who they should be. For all we know, Nicki could have been MAGA from jump. Like, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's the caveat to all of this. It's like, who do you really know? And if you do know them, how responsible are you to their actions and behavior? And again, we can make the onion smaller, and it's like, okay, what about family? Do you have a relative that you know touches people? Do you have a relative that don't go over so-and-so? He coming over to the dinner, don't let the kids be around. But if you have to say all that and give all that disclaimer, now it's a question of how responsible are you in the fact that you knew? And that's the scary part. Like I said again with the cobalt in Congo, I know. So now what do? Do I keep buying smartphones? Do I keep benefiting from the content? knowing where it was produced and how it was produced, do you keep supporting artists that could be a part of one of the worst sex trafficking rings in world history, international history? There's a lot of moral questions and moral mirrors and reflections that I think are going to come to surface as the weeks go by. But, more as it develops.